Hello guys. So this video is for my final exam with subject speaking professional context. So without any further ado, let's start. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity. The Honorable Membeti Silent as the seminar of the proposal seminar. Introduce. My name is Tara Duhana from class 3A. English Education Study Program. The title of the thesis proposal is Students' Perspective of Online Presentation in Speaking Class in 6th Semester at Universitas Islam Riau. Chapter 1, Introduction. Background 1.1, Background of the problem. Speaking is the one crucial skill according to the Bahardoyar and Omnivore 2014. Speaking is deemed to be the most important skill that should be learned from all four key language skills. Some students of English language education of FK Puir, especially in their 6th semester, are troubled when they have a presentation in front of the class. There must be some factor which cause the student's problem. The student's problem, as I mentioned, starts before. The student's problems may come from internal and external. Students feel stressed and shy presentation in front of the class because they will get criticized or the presentation does not match their expectation. This cause the shyness may be a problem in teaching activities of students in the classroom, especially in the speaking class. It is because students are afraid of making mistakes when they are speaking in front of the class. Then, in the situation of COVID-19, since February 2020, learning activities should change from face-to-face to learning from home. This condition forces the students to learn with a learning platform, for example, Google Classroom, Edmodo, Zoom, and Google Meet. In relation to online learning, the effect in speaking performance while having presentation is the problem of signal and maintenance. In order to avoid mistakes while presenting, students prepare their media before they start to present, even though the speaker, audio, applications, and prepare their internet package. 1.2, Identification of the problems. First, from the speaking aspect, some of the students have lack confidence and feel nervous when they have a presentation in the classroom. Students are afraid of making mistakes because feeling shy and stressful are the problem for the students to present in the classroom. It affects students unwilling to practice in online presentation. Second, students has problem with using online learning application, example, Google Classroom, Google Meet, and Zoom. The students have prepared their media for their presentation and also checking the speaker and camera to make a presentation is going well. But when the students start presenting, they face many problems such as connection, technical, or like sound or camera, and it affects students to make them more nervous about the presentation. Next, 1.3, focus to the problems. Related to the identification, the problems that start above, the researchers need to limit the problems. The researchers focus on psychological aspects, learner language competency, performance condition, and learning environment, which are internal and external factors. Next, researchers research questions. Based on the focus on the problem, the question that research is, what are students' perspective on online presentation in speaking class of 6th semester at English language education at Universitas Islam Riau? Okay, next slide. 1.5 Objective of the research. The objective of this research is to know students' perspective of online presentation in speaking class of 6th semester at English language education at Universitas Islam Riau. 1.6 Significance of the research. The significance of this research are: 1. The findings of the research are useful for lecturers in teaching speaking English in English language education. 2. The findings of this research are expected to be valuable and useful for English language education students. 3. The result of the research are also expected to be used as a reference for English language education students who wants to conduct a research. 1.7 Definitions of key terms. There are many terms which are involved in this research. In order to avoid misunderstanding to the terms used in this research, the following terms are necessarily defined as following. First, perspectives. The meaning of perspective is process of receiving, collecting, and interpreting some information from people's minds or sense. In this research, perceptions refers to the students' opinion or experience in online presentation. Perspective in this research refers to perspective by students that experience speaking in online presentation. 2. Speaking. Speaking is the process of a verbal and non-verbal symbol to share the meaning. Speaking in this research means students deliver the idea and sharing the idea to the audience to online presentation. 3. Oral presentation. Oral presentation is planted and practice speech that is not memorized to read from notes, but is introduced by presenter to the audience. In this research, oral presentation means to practice and present their ideas beside on their subject's topic in online class. Next slide. Chapter 2. Review of related literature. 2.1 Relevant theories. 2.1.1 Definition of perspective. Perspective is the way that you notice things with your sense or sight. Perspective has a broad meaning. It refers to organizing, identifying, and interpreting a fact or data based on someone's sense or mind. Perspective is the way people seek or give an idea about things in the environment based on their sense. Perspective is, in this research, refers to the data of the students' talk and a feeling about speaking in online presentation. 2.1.2 Definition of speaking. Speaking from the word speak means talk about something to someone, using your voice to say something. Express your opinion openly. Speaking is through the mouth and transmission of language. In learning, speaking is the one crucial skill because speaking is the skill that should be implemented for several second language or foreigner language learners. The mastery of speaking ability in English is priority. As a result, learners also evaluate their progress in language learning that effectiveness or their English course on a basic how much they believe that their spoken English skill have improved. Next, 2.1.3, that components of speaking. The components of speaking are what affect how well people speak English. According to the Rizkiningsih and Hadi, 2019, there are 5 speaking skills components. First, grammar. In both written and oral forms, grammar is required for students to organize correct sentence in conversation. Second, vocabulary. Vocabulary means that correct diction or most important thing, particularly when speaking in language. Moreover, knowing many vocabularies can make it easier for people to communicate their emotions, feelings, and thoughts in oral or written forms. The third, pronunciation. According to Gila Jani 2016, pronunciation is learned by reprinting sounds and correcting them when produced incorrectly. Pronunciation is the method of the word that consists of way to understand or accept interest presentations, the way words are spoken, way of speaking words, and also it has phonic symbols. Fourth, fluency. Fluency is described the ability to communicate easily and accurately. Fluently is more often than not generally acceptable to a specific linguistic dialect without interruption. Fluency is often used in conjunction with other spoken language intervention, especially comprehensibility and accentedness. Comprehension. Comprehension is ability to see and control the context of speech to explain the meaning of word presentations. 2.1.4, the function of speaking are told as interaction, second, told as transaction, and last, told is focus on monologue rather than dialogue. 2.1.5, problems in speaking. Speaking in second of foreign language is a challenge students since speaking a foreign language such as English requires more than understanding grammar, but also in using English in a real sense. There are linguistic problems and non-linguistic problems. 1. Linguistic problems. So linguistic is a language scientifics or science such as language structure or grammar and word studies. There are some linguistic problems that affect someone in speaking, such as poor grammar, lack of vocabulary, and pronunciation. Non-linguistic problems. There are main problems faced by students in speaking based on non-linguistic problems. A. Inhibition is the key concern in the classroom that students face. B. Cannot thinking to say something. Often on the specific subject, the students think they have nothing to say. C. Low participants. each student has very limited time for talking as one student talks at a time and the other student attempt to listen to the others. D. Mother tongue use. Students who are scared of criticism and need to be persuaded to speak English are students who insist on using their mother tongue. 2.1.6 the definition of oral presentation. An activity that is explained to a group of audience is an oral presentation. One or more students give a speech to a tutorial group in oral presentation and express opinion and on an object based on their readings or study. A discussion of the subject is then followed by the rest of the group. Topics for presentations are normally planned early in semester. Students may be able to select the topics or may be assigned one. 2.1.7 the advantage of oral presentation. According to Isa and Al-Buttan, 2010, there are some advantages which can be gotten from oral presentation, including 1. Integrating language skill, 2. Practicing speaking, 3. Making decisions, 4. Preparing for real life, 5. Acquiring knowledge through English, 6. Promoting learner centeredness, 7. Expanding to the teacher's roles, and the last, learning how to use technology. Next, 2.8 problems of speaking in online presentation. There are some problems which are responsible for affecting speaking in online presentation. There is 4 problems. 1, the psychological aspect. 2, learner's language competence or ability. 3, performance condition. And last, learning environment. 2.2, relevant studies. So, okay, relevant studies. The first previous research was done by Ari Iswanto Wibowo and Sai Kairunas from English Education of Bina Sahara Informatica University. The title of this research is Students' Perception of Online Learning for Public Speaking Course. This study aims to find students' perception of the speaking ability to public speaking class during COVID-19 pandemic. The second research was done by Justina Fitriani Murti Bandung, Mohtana Karisma Kadri from Technology Institute of Kalimantan and Islamic and Religion Institute of Samarinda. The title of the research is Student Perspective of Online Learning on Speaking Class During COVID-19 Pandemic. The aim of the research was to know students' perspective of online learning in speaking class during COVID-19 pandemic. This research used mixed method research and using questionnaires as the instruments. The results show the student prevents offline learning than online learning. 2.3 conceptual framework. The category questionnaires consists of 20 questions divided into 4 parts. First, is psychological aspect. This category about problems faced by students in learning related to shyness, nervousness, and feeling stressed. Second, category is learners' language competency or ability. This category about the problem faced by students in learning that are related with the aspect of language such as pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. And the third is performance condition. This category about problem faced by students in learning that are related to the student's condition while performing in online presentation. And last categories is learning environment that this last category about problem faced by students in learning that are related with students learning media or online learning equipment. 2.3 assumption. Assumption of this study is to know students' perspective of online presentation in speaking class of 6th semester at English Language Education at Universitas Islam Riau. In this study, the researchers assumes that students face in online presentation as focus on psychological aspect, learner language competency, performance condition, and learning environment, which are internal and external factors. Next. Chapter 3, Research Methodology. 3.1, Research Design. Research design that we'll use for this research is qualitative design. Qualitative research may be arranged for source of research. The common features of which is reliance on unstructured data and on source of data analysis that are non-numerical. This research was conducted in the form of testing a form or of exercise. The form of exercise that was tested by an exercise using tongue twister to practice pronounce. Next, 3.2, Location and time of the research. This research consider Universitas Islam Riau with location Kaharudin Nasution Streets, number 113, Simpang 3 Bukit Raya, Pekanbaru City, Riau. The study will begin in April 2021 until May 2021. 3.3, Population and sample of the research. Population in this research will be the 6th semester students of English Language Education of FKIP UIR Academic 2020-2021. 3.4, Instrument of the research. First is questionnaire, and the second is interview. Some interview questions were addressed to see the student perspective as follows. 1, do you feel confident when speaking in online presentation? Number 2, is online presentation more effective for improving your speaking? Number 3, are you afraid of making mistakes in online presentation? Number 4, what you're difficult when having an online presentation? And the last, do you prefer speaking in face-to-face learning or in online learning? All right, next, 3.5. Data collection technique. The result of the questionnaire and classify the result of the questionnaire into groups. Next, the researchers might interview by using Google Meet or Zoom meeting. And last, the data analysis technique. The data analysis technique is process of gathering, modeling, and transforming data with the useful information suggesting conclusion and supporting decision making. In this study, data were collected using questionnaires with open-ended question. Then, after collecting the data, it will be analyzed. After getting the questionnaire, which has been filled by the participants, for the next step, the research will interview even 7 participants and analyze the data. And close-ended questions that are divided into 5 scales like strong, agree, neutral, disagree, strong, disagree. Thank you. Okay, I think that's all from my presentation of final exam. I'm sorry if I have a mistake. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.